Hey everyone, welcome back to the workshop. Artisan Pirate here, and in today's fun scroll saw project video, have a nice little Easter design by Steve Good. It's one of his older patterns, so please keep that in mind. I've already got all the pattern printed out, prepped, and attached to the material with clear packing tape. The Easter season and Easter holiday is fast approaching here in 2024, and I'm pretty sure everyone is aware of the true nature and importance of the Easter holiday is in the religious calendars. But before I get into a project on that subject, I wanted to do a more lighthearted one to celebrate the Easter bunny, the Easter eggs, and of course the Easter basket. As I said, the pattern is already prepped, and we're going to be using some exotic woods. I went through the scrap bin here and I milled down everything that we're going to need to its required thicknesses. So I'll show you the project now before we get started. The base here is going to be 1/2 inch material, and I don't know what this material is. I know it's not walnut because it didn't smell like it while I was milling it down, but a very simplistic base here. The front of the project is going to have the words Happy Easter to show what we are celebrating here, and this is 1/4 inch walnut that I milled down. I always love when I get a chance to scroll walnut. And then the actual bulk of the scroll work is going to be 3 Easter bunnies there with Easter eggs, and one of them's even holding an Easter basket. And this is more material that I don't know what it is. It kind of milled like oak, but it doesn't smell like oak. But I'm really happy to be using some of these exotic woods in a featured video for you guys. And since everything is prepped and ready, let's move the camera, drill our pilot holes, and get started. And over here on the workbench, we're going to take the Seiko scroller's drill and drill out all of the pilot holes for internal cutting. And you will note that I have a backer board behind the scroll work to prevent blowout of the pilot holes on the reverse side. And there's several small interior cuts on the bunny rabbit piece, but over here on the scroll saw we'll begin doing the internal cuts on the Happy Easter piece to go on and get those out of the way. I will be using a number 5 Ultra reverse tooth blade for all of the scrolling on this project, and it will cut through all 3 thicknesses of the material exceptionally well with minimal chip out. And we will be scrolling through 1/4, 1/2, and 3/4 inch material respectively on this project with that same blade. If you guys would like to try this pattern, it's available as a free pattern download over at Steve Good's scrollsawworkshop.blogspot.com website over in his free pattern catalog. And this is one of his older designs in case anyone was wondering. But we are now almost done with the Happy Easter interior cuts. And then I will move over and start cutting out the bunny rabbit pieces. And then I will do the final release cuts all at one time. That way I won't have to keep retensioning the scroll saw blade here. And it does not take an entirely long time to scroll this project out. It's just that some of the interior cuts are very tedious and small, so as always I am taking my time and letting the blade do the work. If you guys like what you're seeing, I would highly encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube channel and also follow me across all my social medias under the Artisan Pirate name. I'd really appreciate the support. Moving right along with the project here, you can still see I'm using that same blade. As I said, I took my time and let the blade do the work, and I did not break a blade during the entire scrolling process. But now that all of the interior cuts are done, we will now release all 3 pieces, the word Happy Easter, the bunnies, as well as the base now. And this will just be 3 long outside cuts following that perimeter line to release the scroll work from the waste wood. And the Easter bunnies are always symbolic for the little ones during the Easter season, but there is a true and deeper meaning, of course, to the Easter season and holiday. But while I was cutting out this project, I remembered dyeing Easter eggs with my family, and you know, when my little cousins got old enough, I dyed Easter eggs with them, and you know, just the memories of getting an Easter basket from the Easter bunny on Easter Sunday morning before going and having Easter services at church. A lot of those memories came flooding back when I was doing the scroll work on this project. and I am just following along the cut line here to release everything. And the whiskers on the bunny rabbits are very tedious, so I was very careful here. I didn't want to potentially snap them off. But this was the major piece of scroll work that we are finishing up here, and then we will quickly cut out the base. Again, you see I'm still using that same blade. But then all of the scroll work will be complete, and we can head over to the workbench and remove all the pieces from the waste wood and get our first visual of what our finished project will look like. But now it will be time for sanding, and I will use 180 grit Klingspor Woodworking Shop sandpaper sanding sheets in my vibrating palm sander here, and I will sand the front and back of each of the pieces carefully. And I'll give a slight round over here to the base just for a nice little visual and make it comfortable to pick up and hold. But then over here at the workbench, before doing the final glue up, I'm taking a sanding stick here that a subscriber sent me. They sent me a whole pack of them, and I'm just doing some touch-up sanding here on some of the more smaller and tedious areas. But once I was happy with everything, I got out my CA glue and activator, and I glued everything together. And this is medium grade CA glue, and I'm just lining everything up by eye here. But once I was satisfied with it, I set it aside for around 5 minutes to completely cure, and then I gave it a finish of several coats of Rust-Oleum clear gloss. And once that dried, the project was complete. And here we have the completed Happy Easter piece with Easter bunnies, cut out completely on the scroll saw, and it finished up amazingly well with some very cute details in it. Thank you, Steve Good, for another fantastic pattern from your pattern catalog. Once again, it's one of his older pattern offerings. I just take my time periodically and go through the entire catalog that Steve offers. There is tons of amazing scroll saw patterns just like this one on the full catalog. So just go in there and look through them, and I'm sure you can find this little cute piece here. It took me around 30 minutes to scroll this project out from start to finish. It's not a very complicated pattern. It's just with the nature of some of the small and tedious cuts, you need to be very careful, and as always, take your time and let the blade do the work. You can easily distinguish all three of the Easter bunnies here. They are all in a different pose and position, and they all three have a unique Easter egg there. And the one bunny on the end here has the ever popular Easter basket for the Easter egg hunts. So really, really neat. And of course, it does have some tedious details like the bunny's whiskers. I just, as I said, took my time when going around those. I didn't want to cut them too thin to where they would pop off when sanding or when I tried to remove it from the waste wood. Speaking of the material here that we used, I do know only one wood species in this project, and that's the word Happy Easter there, that came out nice and crisp out of the walnut we milled down to 1/4 inch in thickness. I'm unfamiliar with what the base is and what the actual scroll work for the bunny rabbits are, and they're not oak and it's not poplar. They do not smell like that when I was milling it down. And the thick base here, that's about 3/4 inches in thickness, scrolled very smoothly. I know oak does not scroll like that, so I'd really like to know what that material is so I could use it for more project videos over here on the channel. And as I said, I know the bunny rabbits are not poplar, but it does have some of that characteristic in the dark and lighter grain of poplar, but it didn't smell like any of that material when I was scrolling it out or even sanding it and finishing it. But I still think everything came out amazingly well. As always, with every scroll saw project you make, you have the option to either stain it if you want to go a step farther, and even go in there with acrylic craft paints if you wanted to paint all the bunnies and the word Happy Easter and everything and really make it look like a nice jump into spring type project. But I still think it finished up amazingly well just with the basic clear coat here, letting the natural colors of the three wood species we used here pop through. I had a lot of fun in today's video. It especially made me go down memory lane when scrolling it out. I remember as a kid on Easter Sunday morning getting up, getting on my nice clothes for church, and then going to see what the Easter bunny had left me. And then of course after church services or the Sunday before Easter Sunday, we would have the ever popular Easter egg hunt looking for the mysterious and prize winning golden egg out at church. So those memories are always fun to look back on. Of course there is a more serious nature and aspect to the Easter holiday, and we are going to get into that. But I did want to do a project where we celebrated the Easter Bunny and the fun and fanciful side of Easter. So really, really cool. Thank you guys for following along. I hope you guys learned something in today's video, and I hope you guys like watching me make this project because I enjoyed making it. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel and also follow me across all my social medias under the Artisan Pirate name. As always, links to contact me as well as all my social medias will always be linked down in the description box below these videos. That's about all for this one, and remember guys, if I can make it or do it, so can you. I'm the Artisan Pirate. Take care, and I'll see you guys real soon.